So Emmerson's developing the Khemisset Potash Project, which is located in Northern Morocco. It is, according to our scoping study, which we released in November of last year, an absolutely world-class project. So among the lowest capital cost development stage potash projects in the world, and as a result of its location expected to have exceptional margins, approaching 70% EBITDA margins and north of 50% post-tax cash margins. So an absolutely outstanding project. We're rapidly pushing it through the development milestones and moving it towards production. About to kick off the feasibility study, which we hope will be finished sometime towards the end of the year or early next year. So we delivered the scoping study, which is really the first technical assessment of the project to work out whether it's worth us investing any more money, in November of 2018. That really confirmed what we had always thought, which was this has the potential to be among the lowest capital cost projects in the potash space, and it also confirmed that it has very high margins. So that was a huge milestone for us. In 2019, we're really focused on pushing the project ahead through further de-risking milestones. So we're drilling at the moment, which will lead us to an updated resource. As part of that program of the feasibility study, which will commence in the first half of this year, we'll do some metallurgical test work, which should be finished before the end of the year, and then hopefully the feasibility study will be finished towards the end of the year or early next year as well. In our experience in developing projects in Africa, a lot of companies can trip up at that first phase where you have fatal flaws in terms of the potential environmental and social impacts. So the environmental baseline study really confirmed that there are no fatal flaws or red flags for the proposed development that we contemplated in the scoping study, and it really clears that pathway for us to further accelerate the timeline working towards developing this outstanding project. The two most important things in potash are number one, capital cost of development, and number two, location. Location is absolutely fundamental in your competitive cost in terms of delivered cost to your end market. And in terms of location, you almost couldn't get a better location than Morocco. So when in production, this project will be the closest producing potash mine to a number of markets, including the huge Brazilian market, but also South Africa, the southern US market and Northwest Europe. And then more importantly is Morocco is a very fast growing market for potash itself. The transport and logistics advantage of being located in a market that consumes potash is one of the key reasons that we think that this project will be successful. So I've been working in Africa for the best part of 6 years, and Morocco is an absolutely outstanding jurisdiction. And in fact, the Mining Journal put out a world risk report which ranks Morocco as the #1 African jurisdiction for mining investment. Our experience there thus far in the project development has been nothing short of outstanding. We see a huge regulatory push from the government of Morocco to try and attract foreign direct investment from companies like us. And as a result, the mining code is very clear, very transparent and very supportive for groups like us to come in and invest. So we see all of the usual supportive fiscal arrangements like 5-year tax holidays, but importantly, no government ownership. So really had a great experience thus far and we expect that to continue for the foreseeable future in Morocco. So the potash industry is incredibly tightly controlled. The global potash industry is dominated by only 9 producers of potash. And unfortunately for anyone who's a downstream consumer of potash, in order to play in the NPK blended fertiliser space, you need to have a solid source of potassium. What that means for any new entrant to the potash market is if you are able to enter the market, you suddenly become an incredibly strategically valuable asset to any large player that is looking to be an NPK blender in the broader fertiliser market. So we see in the future the potential for significant strategic partnerships which will help us not only on the sales and marketing side but also more clearly on the financing side as we look to finance the $400 million to build this mine. Emmerson represents a very attractive investment in the fertiliser space. The fundamentals of the asset are absolutely outstanding. This is a world-class asset in the hands of a junior, and similarly to what Sirius was probably 4 to 5 years ago, we're at a very early stage in our development. That presents a significant opportunity for new investors to take advantage of the fact that this asset may be mispriced in the eyes of the market. It will certainly increase and gain more momentum as people are aware of the development milestones and as we take this project one step further towards construction. 2019 is going to be a huge year of news flow for the company. In fact, it's going to be a transformational year for the company as we move towards delivering that final feasibility study. Over the coming months, we will see a resource upgrade released to the market. We'll also see the completion of metallurgical test works to further de-risk that processing circuit, the commencement and finalisation of the feasibility study, environmental and permitting, and then also some financing discussions. So a huge year and transformational for the company as we move towards production.